Accident on ArcelorMittal Kryvyi. President Donald Trump has postponed a decision on imposing steel and aluminium tariffs. EVRAZ DMP officially renamed the Dniprovsky Metallurgical Plant. The main events in the metal market of the past week in the weekly review of Metal News. The program is supported by the Techenergoprom group. United States President Donald Trump has postponed a decision on imposing steel and aluminium tariffs on Canada, the European Union and Mexico until June 1st. The administration has reached agreements in principle with Argentina, Australia and Brazil, details of which will be finalized in the next 30 days. The administration is also extending negotiations with Canada, Mexico and the European Union for a final 30 days, the source said. The expiration of the exclusion of European exporters from the new U.S. duties on aluminium and steel expired on May 1st. But just a few hours before the beginning of the duties, Donald Trump has cancelled his decision. Experts associate such decision of the head of the White House with recent visits to the United States, the French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Angela Merkel. The monthly postponement imposing of tariffs is likely the last chance for the UE to agree with Trump about avoiding duties on steel and aluminium. On April 23, 2018, at a meeting of DCH Group shareholders, it was decided to rename the EVRAZ DMP enterprise to the Dniprovsky Metallurgical Plant. Let's remind that DMP passed under management of DCH Group in March of the current year after the conclusion of the transaction of purchase and sale between EVRAZ Group and Synalia Investments Limited. In the first quarter of 2018, the company smelted about 237,000 tons of steel. Production of square billets amounted to about 122,000 tons, shaped products 74,000 tons. The consequences of the accident on April 29 at the blast furnace number 9 of the metallurgical giant ArcelorMittal Kryvyi are completely eliminated, the press center of the holding said. As Metal News has learned, after the overhaul, the blast furnace was launched. But on April 29, there was an uncontrolled release of liquid pig iron. At the moment, the situation is under control. Blast furnace number 9 is stopped to provide safety on the industrial platform for the purpose of detailed investigation of the circumstances and troubleshooting. Official sources note that the state of emergency will not affect the production figures of ArcelorMittal Kryvyi, but experts do not share optimistic forecasts. Metal News follows the development of the situation on ArcelorMittal Kryvyi and will inform its subscribers. In the warehouse market in Kiev, there is a tendency to increase the quotes of the rebars. A number of companies voice prices 18,300, 18,500 hryvnias per ton with VAT, rolling 12-32mm machine norms. The reason for this is the increase in purchase prices for the rebars and the reduction of the warehouse stocks. However, a number of companies are exciting the previous price tag, 18,000 hryvnias per ton, to attract buyers. Pessimistic forecasts are confirmed by information on the availability of expensive offers of May imports, about 17,400 hryvnias per ton, amateur 12mm. The appearance of such raw products is expected not earlier than mid-May. So it remains an opportunity to maintain a high level of prices. In the coming week, the stock quotes of the rebars will correspond to the level of 18,500, 18,600 hryvnias per ton. In the warehousing market of rolled products, there is a lull. Demand for angle and channel is low at the level of balanced supply. At the same time, traders offer discounts for the sale of the channel up to 650-700 hryvnias per ton. In the coming week, the revision of quotations is improbable, primarily due to the lack of adjustments in the price lists of producers. Warehouse quotations of rebars in Moscow by the end of April increased significantly. In the reporting week, rebars manufacturers decided on the prices for May. Concerning April, rolled products in the primary market went up to 1,500, 2,000 rubles per ton. Against these backgrounds, stock quotes at the end of April added about 1,000 to 1,500 rubles per ton. In particular, rolling with a section of 12mm is realized basically not cheaper than 37,300 rubles per ton. Individual players offer rolled products at 38,000 rubles per ton, but the market has not yet reached this level. The increase is constrained by weak activity in the construction sector. However, the restoration of demand, in the opinion of most market participants, is a matter of short-term prospects. The beginning of the construction season will spur the market. Trader plans to increase the price of rebars for 2,000–2,500 rubles per ton, but growth will be gradual. In this segment of shaped products, prices for the angle increased, depending on the type of the size, for 500 to 1,500 rubles per ton. Combines announced an increase in prices up to 2,000–4,000 rubles per ton in May. Despite a comparable increase in factory prices for the channel, warehouse quotes are still stable. Traders point to high stocks and a steady but low demand. However, it is most likely that warehouses' prices for the channel will start growing next week. Turkish metallurgists refuse to try to reduce the price of raw materials and raise prices for demand. This forced them to inability to continue to postpone the purchase of scrap with the May delivery. In addition, some improvements in this segment of the final product also allowed the suppliers to meet them. So, for example, the sale of scrap type 3A from Rostov-on-Don at a price of $341 per ton CFR. Purchasing prices at port areas increased to 16,600 rubles per ton CPT. Ukrainian exporters continue to remain out of the market. Procurement of raw materials at port platforms is practically not carried out, since Ukrainian plants quote scrap much higher. In the Far East, there is no demand for Russian material. Metallurgical enterprises in South Korea have sufficient reserves and do not show interest in purchasing raw materials. Iran doesn't plan to stop on the achieved results in terms of production and export of steel in the current year on the Persian calendar. Local enterprises intend to continue to increase the volume of output through successful sales in foreign markets, increased self-sufficiency in raw materials, as well as government support. The plan for steel production for this year is set at 26 million tons, which is 19% higher than in the previous period. In order to achieve its goals, Iran needs to focus on expanding the supply of raw materials, given some shortage of iron ore concentrate in the domestic market. It is expected that exports will remain the main driver of production growth, with the volume of shipments at the level of 12–13 million tons against 9.5 million tons in the last year, according to the Persian calendar. You are watching Metal News Review for the week. Indicative prices for the current positions by the end of the reporting week look like this. You have watched Metal News. Your subscription to our channel and clicking on the bell is a guarantee of getting the latest and up-to-date information every week.